Hello and welcome to today's question and answer video on pianoTV. So I wanted to do something a little bit different than usual. What we've been doing lately this year is one monthly question and answer video. And in that video, I answer 4 general questions that you guys have been asking. What I wanted to do instead, and we'll see if this works, you'll have to let me know if you like this format, is to chop that up into smaller weekly videos instead of like one big video. I feel like it might be more useful because then you can kind of skip over the questions you don't care about and they're like in shorter digestible chunks. So like I'm thinking about 5 minutes or so for these videos. So we'll give it a try this month and see how it goes. As always, if there is a piano question that's been getting you down, you can feel free to leave it in the comments below and maybe I'll answer it in the next video. Let's get started. So the question is from Sarah Smith, and I actually know someone named Sarah Smith in real, well, I guess this is real life too, but I guess in my life, if you're that Sarah Smith, hi, and if you're a different Sarah Smith, hello as well. Anyway, she asks, I've been learning piano for about 2 years, self-taught, and I've just arrived to the point where I can read sheet music, but I can't grasp the concept of reading both clefs at the same time. How can I change my outlook on that? This is a question that I'm asked fairly frequently, so I thought it would be the perfect question to address in like our first one-off weekly video. So the question is about playing with both hands at the same time. Now, with most musical instruments, you don't have to read 2 staffs at once. You just read the treble clef or just the bass clef. Piano is one of the only instruments where you have to read 2 clefs at once, and it is really challenging. The problem that most people run into is they try to do too much at once. They try to read music that is comprehensible hands separately at their level, but when they put it together, it just doesn't go smoothly. They have to kind of like chunk it note by note. If you've ever played something that's a little bit too difficult for you, you know what I mean, where you can really only like think about each individual note at a time and you have to like kind of chunk it all together, and you never really comprehend it. So this is just a problem of scaling back and doing something much simpler than you think is necessary. When we read sentences in books, our eyes scan ahead as we read. We don't just read one letter at a time, all, A-L-L. We just see the whole word all. Otherwise it would take forever. And the same should be true of reading music. Our eyes should be able to not only comprehend the note we're playing, or in this case, the word we're reading, but also be able to look up ahead, scan ahead to upcoming notes and shapes. And if you can't do this while playing hands together, what you need to do is try playing something much simpler, way simpler than you think is necessary. I've grabbed some pretty easy Czerny sheet music here. It's from his Opus 599 collection called Practical Exercises for Beginners. And if you want to check out this entire collection, I'll have it linked over on the blog. If you were to read this hands separately, it would almost definitely be painfully easy, and that's a really good thing at this point. What we want is a reading experience that doesn't give you massive brain strain. We want to be able to be completely comfortable reading this. So when you do this hands together, you should feel like you're pushing yourself a little bit, but it should still feel doable. It should be easy enough that your eyes are able to jump ahead as you play, just like you would read a book. Ideally, you'd be able to get pretty good at this hands together in several tries. Keep building up your reading stamina by doing little exercises like this every day, slowly upping the difficulty level. And if you start hitting the point where it feels like you're not comprehending the notes, kind of like reading words you don't understand, just scale it back, go to something a little bit easier. Eventually, two-handed reading will start to fall into place, but the important thing is to just start really simple. And just a note, when I'm first putting something hands together, it's never easy right off the bat. Like I'm never reading something for the first time like perfectly up to speed. It usually takes me a few tries to start getting past the clumsy phase, and a few days to start feeling like I'm actually getting comfortable with it, just depending on how much I'm practicing. You should be able to feel like you are understanding what you're playing, that you comprehend what you're playing. If you feel like you're hitting your head against a wall, then it's probably too difficult. But I just wanted to say, like, generally the first attempts at hands together when you're learning a new piece are going to be kind of awkward and clumsy, so don't be discouraged by that. You only want to pay attention to your efforts, like maybe scaling back if you're really, really struggling. And you should be able to tell the difference. If you're not getting better, it's too tough. And that is all for today's Q&A session. Again, feel free to leave a question in the comments below and we'll check it out. Let me know if you are into this new format and what your thoughts are, and I'll catch you next week. I've grabbed some pretty easy churny music for the, let me say that again.